Hey everybody, David Skrika, stock chart of the day. Yes, now we really will start getting into a lot more of these. I apologize. There's been a couple of things happening in my life. The most major one I've been dealing with. We did a little bit of a work around the house, and it was just difficult for me to do these videos because I basically would have three guys in the house at all times. So that is slowing down. It wasn't major work. It was just kind of just like I'm a bit of a cluttered type person. I'm not a hoarder by any means, but I'm a bachelor and I tend and I like gadgets, I like all kinds of things. And sometimes my house gets a little full. So I just said, you know what, I'm sick of kind of being cluttered like this. So we just kind of like threw away a whole bunch of stuff. And then I had an issue with my car, and then it looks like we fixed the issue. I do need one more part. And then so I was working on that with the guys as well. So and the island I live on is definitely, it's not like living in, New York City where you just walk down the street. You definitely need a car here, right? So, and thanks for bearing with me, but now we're going to really, really get going. Members, you'll have two updates this week and make up for, like, I don't think I've done one in a few weeks. I'm going to do the members update right after I do this update. So today's stock chart of the day, we're going to look at their sponsor company, Nevada King. We're going to talk about the spin out they're doing of their non-core assets. Like their core asset is the Atlanta mine, right? Which I've talked about in the past as a mine that I helped organize the sale from with a friend of mine. Unfortunately, is deceased now. So it's a past producing mine, and then we'll talk about that. But first, I want to talk about NVIDIA, and we have to ask the question: has NVIDIA maybe finally topped? Now, NVIDIA is in such a tear and such a parabolic run. It's always difficult to do this, but I think that we might be finally seeing NVIDIA in some kind of topping formation. And partly is at least short term. Like you can see, there was a reversal day here. That was back in March. And then we had this next run up. Now we have a reversal day here. But of course, now the valuations continue to get higher and higher. NVIDIA's became the most valued company in the world for a while. So, but you can see this reversal where it went to 140 and then reversed, and then on pretty good size volume too. And then went to 130 and then sold off, and now it's selling off again. Now it's getting a little short term oversold, but you definitely might want to look at maybe potentially as a short. And look at the short here in NVIDIA. Let's say you can short at 130. It's a pretty good trade because you can just put a stop loss at 140. So you're talking with the type of parabolic run I think NVIDIA's had now, you're talking, you probably think you have 50% upside in a short and only 7% downside. And of course, there's NVDS. I think there's even a 2X. I would probably just stick for myself in NVDS. So you don't even have to, like, the nice thing is you don't even have to short the stock. You can buy NVDS as kind of a way to play it. So I made good money on NVDS actually back in 2022 when NVIDIA kind of had its first parabolic curve. But I just look at this as, with my feelings that, and the rest of this week, I'm going to talk about seasonality. But we're entering the weak seasonality period for stocks. Selling may go away. Obviously, that August, September, to October period is notorious for big corrections and crashes. So we're entering that, and it's just going to be very, very difficult with all the hype around NVIDIA and all the parabolic for it to really, really I think to basically continue on this run. So, and also if like I'm looking at the market more topping here, and then the move downward really being from August to October, well, that kind of fits because NVIDIA would probably maybe launch the sell-off now. And and it's just NVIDIA and a few companies. Like the rally is getting narrower and narrower. We'll talk about that a bit more when we do our seasonality thing. So Nevada King, this is a press release from a few weeks, just under 2 weeks ago. But what we can see here is that what they talked about in last February is that they're going to take all the rest of the assets outside the Atlanta mine and spin it into a new company, and also give that company a 3% smelter return on the gold silver production of the Atlanta mine if it goes into production. So what they're going to do this for is because, look, when you have a company with a main asset, you don't get any value in the other asset. That's other assets. Like Nevada King has a market cap of like 100 million now. And that all that market cap is based on the Atlanta mine. So a lot of you may be worried because Nevada King has fallen from the mid 40s to 28 cents. But what you have to understand, you're going to get shares in this new in this new Yeah. So you're in this new company. So right now, this new company is going to stay as a private company, but at some point it will probably come, public. So, okay, in the short run, it means that like, and you got to kind of keep, remember, your Nevada King shares or to by a certain date to have this, right? So, that's essentially what's going to happen. So that's another reason maybe you want to buy Nevada King right now, because you're going to get shares in this new company when it comes public. So, and so who knows where that company will come public, but like, let's say you have shares, yeah. See, we're owning 100% of Spinco. So let's say you own 10,000 shares in Nevada King, you'll own 10,000 shares of Spinco. And let's say Spinco comes out at, I don't know, 20 cents a share. Well, like right now you would own $3,000 worth of Nevada King, then 2,000 of Spinco, and it basically makes your equivalent price 50 cents a share, right? So that's the way it would work. So that's why I would highly recommend you continue to hold your Nevada King. So I think this is something that needed to be talked about. So I mean, like I said, it's going to short-term hurt the price of Nevada King because those assets are leaving the company and going into this private company. But in the long run, I think you'll make more money in it. So anyhow, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. So that, yeah, it's our stock chart of the day. Like I said, we're going to be more active again, and thanks for bearing with me. Like most of I don't have a lot of new people on the new service. I got basically most of you are lifetime members. So I think most of you are pretty patient, and then a lot of you are, and then the new people coming on the Patreon. Oh, I'm also going to try really by say Independence Day, launch my my Substack. I had a couple people respond to some of my videos, say they would be interested in it. The Substack will be very, very active. For those of you who are on the $7 a month Patreon, if you want to be a little more active, you might want to cancel the Patreon, move to the Substack. It will be a little more, it'll be 27 a month, but it's going to be like, I'm going to do little blogs, like multiple blogs a day, maybe even little podcasts. Even when I have these things like happen to me on the island and I'm busy. Oh, I'll tell you one more thing that's happened just quickly before I go here is that, yeah, they're expanding the power plant here and they're putting in these new lines. So we've had days where it's 3 hours. One day that power went off for 6.5 hours, and that kind of cuts into my productivity. So even though I have a generator, I just have a basic generator, like a little gas one that runs some fans, my TV and stuff like that. And so, yeah, especially when it's a hot, humid day here, it definitely hurts your productivity not having power. And then of course I want to kind of conserve my computer and phone power. Even though I have a generator, because I only want to use a generator if I absolutely have to. So I think that expansion is basically done and hopefully over with. So, and a lot of times too, again, when that happens, I just do my errands. I go shopping, I do grocery shopping, I get some things for the house, etc. So everybody, yeah, we're going to get back into this, and I hope you enjoyed this information on Nevada King.